This is Saturday Morning Recorded, and I'm your host, Cohen Vogel. And for today's special guest, that's my debate coach, Mr. Konda. For your weekly tidbit of news, it's that even though American badgers are called badgers, they're actually in a different subfamily than the rest of the badgers in the mustelid family, which is quite interesting. Here's our special guest. Our special guest this week is Mr. Konda, who teaches debate at Aberdeen Central High School. So what got you into teaching?
What got me into teaching was my dad's a teacher. He taught for almost 40 years up in New Efton, South Dakota, and Sisseton, South Dakota. He was a science teacher, and teaching was important to him. My mom was a teacher as well, an art teacher. But I was also interested in that. And then when I was in 8th grade, learning about social studies really sparked my interest. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I loved history. And you can't get a lot of jobs with a history degree other than kind of teaching. But that's really important because if you can use the next generation to understand history and current events and government, you can hopefully have a positive impact in the world. And that's what really kind of motivated me towards teaching and towards history and current events, is just that idea of being able to really help students and influence them and just become really productive members of society.
And then you also coach speech here at Aberdeen Central. So what got you into coaching speech?
What got me into coaching speech was I was actually working construction in the fall of 2008, and it's July. I hadn't gotten a job yet. I interviewed at several places in Wyoming. And I was just getting ready to go out to interview in in Casper, Wyoming for a 1-year job. And the Aberdeen Central called me because their current debate coach had left, and I was the only one in the area that had debate experience. So they were basically looking for a debate teacher, and I had the experience to do that job. So I was on the short list, came and interviewed, and they said, do you want to take over the premier program in South Dakota? And I was super nervous about this because I had done oral interp at Sitcom High School with Miss P, who was a great coach, but I never taught policy debate, never did extemp, never had to do that aspect of it. So it was really interesting and scary at the same time to get that position. But I really, truly believe that coaching speech and debate empowers kids to just go on and achieve what they want to achieve, whether they want to be a lawyer, whether they want to be a teacher, whether they want to be a research fellow, an investment banker. It gives them those confidence skills and ability to talk, and it's just like, this is awesome.
So what is your favorite part about doing that?
My favorite part of doing that has to be, it's great to bring home trophies, but I love to see the kids develop, and I love to see what they go on and do. One of the kids I think about is Amanda Wagaman. She's one of my first kids in there early on. She literally on her first speech, she got up and was flipping her hair and was jumping up and down and was super nervous. By the time she left our program, she won several scholarships on essay contests and speech contests. She went on and graduated from USD and is now a speech pathologist, teaching kids how to properly speak and enunciate. So looking at like her and how she developed, and like looking at the kids who come in are just nervous about public speaking, and then they come just these powerhouses to go out and advocate and do things in the community. It's just great to see.
And now, during the summer, you still work construction. So what is that like?
It is definitely two different worlds. I work for the electric company of South Dakota. I've worked there for now 14 years. I am the oldest employee there, like longest tenured employee there, minus the boss. And I keep going back because they're super, super good to me. But I also enjoy the physical aspect of it. Like my job literally is to dig holes with a shovel. Like that's my job. My job is to dig holes with a shovel, find utilities in the ground like water lines, cables for cable TV, fiber optic lines. That's basically what I do all summer long, is dig holes. And you ask, like, why is it enjoyable? totally something different. It's physical. I get to be outside instead of being locked in my room for 8 hours a day. I get to deal with different type of people. And when it's 105 degrees outside, I'm in a hole, it's wet, there's mud everywhere. It reminds me that when I'm 55 years old, I don't want to be doing that.
For your final question, it will be, what is your favorite book?
I would say my favorite book is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, I believe is the author's name. It's super interesting. So what he does is he looks at basically outliers in society and how that happens. One of the stories he talks about is hockey players. Most of the hockey players that are in the NHL are born in January, February, or March. And he goes in and looks at that, and it's probably because of like how our junior hockey levels are developed. So when you have a 5-year-old versus a 5-year-old born in January versus a 5-year-old born in December, it makes a huge difference in size-wise. So that kid born in January is more physically developed. So they're going to probably get the better coaches, the better teams, and they get better competition. So by the time they're 18 years old, they have just improved so much better because they've always had those bigger things. And he looks at that. He talks about how Bill Gates, it wasn't just smarts, it was opportunity at the right place. And if you're looking for a great book, it's in the school library. You can check it out. It's really a wonderful read.
Thank you. That's all for now. Here's 30 Seconds of Nature. Here's Eva's Word of the Week.
Requisite.
Here's the Take 5. Here's this week's Take 5. Your first question, are you a morning or night person?
I am definitely a morning person. I'm up at like 4:30 every morning.
Your second question, how do you like your eggs?
Scrambled.
Your third question will be, what is your favorite sitcom?
Favorite sitcom? Ooh, we're gonna go with New Amsterdam right now.
Your fourth question will be, have you ever peed in a pool?
We're gonna go with, I'm not gonna answer that question, but probably.
And then for your final question, and also your fifth question, it will be, if you could save an endangered species of your choice, what would it be?
Well, I have to have a shout out to Sophie Wheeland on this.
If you could help an endangered species of your choice, what would you choose? Or which would you choose?
I would have to go with the pangolin, which I know has been on here before.
Yes.
And it has to be the pangolin. I learned lots about the pangolin several years ago when she did an informed speech on it, and I would have to say the pangolin.
Thank you. Now, of course, the pangolin is a wonderful animal to choose, and it is extremely wonderful that it has been chosen so many times by so many special guests, especially considered it is very endangered. It is extremely important that we go help out the pangolin and all other species of animals. Now, another very interesting animal is the walrus. You should also go help out the walrus, and you can help out both of these animals at WWF.org. You should definitely consider helping out those two species and all other types of species. For my book recommendation this week, I'm recommending this book, Save Me a Seat by Sarah Weeks and Geeta Varandarajan. It's a really interesting book, and I read it as a 5th grader, and it's a wonderful story. And I really hope you read it because it's a really good book. Now, for my adventure this week, or over this period of time, one of the things I enjoyed doing over the period of time was being a part of the All-State Choir, which was an amazing experience. It was where I got to go down to Rapid City for a few days and sing in a 1,000-person choir, which was an amazing experience. What was really fun was when we got back, my family and I were watching the concert, and we were trying to poke out me. And the funniest thing was we found me, but it was a really zoomed out picture. And here that is. But yeah, it was a really fun experience overall, and I really enjoyed it. I'm your host, Cohen Vogel, signing off.